Everybody, let's get you a little caught up. We've completed on the GUI, or the graphical user interface, and what you're seeing is we've gone through, we've created, all the different sections. We've created the comment. We have our scroller, which you saw before, which currently is empty, ready to have videos added into it. We got our basic video ready to be added in. We have our subscription scene where we can have our subs, anyone that our users subscribe to, across the top, that we can scroll left and right. And then of course our videos would be down here in our video scroller. We have our little sub channel there that we're using up top. And of course we got our video player here with our comments, likes, dislikes, and all that stuff all set up here. And then of course we have our home screen here where we can bring everything in. So I did do two things as far as quote unquote code goes for on here. And I started by creating a script called data. And I brought that in and just brought that in as an auto load, or you may know it as a singleton or a global. And all that is it's just a list of some channel names, so that we can get a little bit of variety in there, just to give you an idea of how we would bring in our info. So things like, obviously channel names. If we had a list that our users subscribe to, videos, how long or when they were published, and figure out the difference, right? And how long ago that was, how many comments a video has, all that stuff. So we'd be able to store all that info and then access it in this similar way. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using channel names just so we don't spend forever setting every little detail. And then this is how we're going to be doing our video scroller. So we got our video scene loaded here. Of course, we're going to call it randomized because we're going to get some random numbers here. Now, I'm choosing to add 15 into my list, into the video scroll list. You can change that to whatever number you want, if you wanted. And inside of that function, we're just doing a for loop. So we're doing for I in that range. We're going to get a random number based off of the amount of channel names that we have set up. And with that, we're going to create an instance of our video scene. I'm going to change the name of our video scene to be video plus whatever number we're on in our for loop. So this way we'll have video 0, video 1, video 2, video 3. That way it'll make it easy to go through. We add it into our grid container, which is where we're actually able to see our video on the screen ready to scroll through. And then we're just getting the info marker on it. So if we come over here, we're getting the info section here. So again, this piece here where we have the channel name, and of course views, weeks, etc. We're grabbing that information, and then we're setting that to our channel name. And of course, you can also add in, if you had the data, which again we haven't gone through, which is going off of channel names here. You can pull in the weeks and views and all that stuff. So I can go ahead and add in here, and we'll add in. I don't know. We'll just hit the keyboard. 345 views. And what was it like? How long ago? So say 10 minutes ago, right? So now when we load up our scroller, we got one here, right? We got one right here. I'm going to open up this scene, and you see now we got our scroller here. And you can see we got different names with our views, the amount of views, and the time. So obviously if we had it back in like YouTube, we'd be able to keep track of that, all that information. Right now we just have, of course, some random names here that are being selected for all 15 of our videos. And of course, you can change this to whatever you want. So we can come in here, And we could say we want 150 of them, if that's what you want to use. And now we got 150 videos here to go through. Look at all that. Closing that down. So again, we're calling randomize because you want to use that anytime we use a random function. We're adding a set amount of videos. We're loading our video scene, running into a for loop, getting a random number so we can get a random index of our channel name so we can get a different name every time, creating an instance of our video, giving our video node in here a name. That way we can access it easier inside of our list here, adding it as a child so that we can see it on screen, and then we're changing the text of the information to hold our randomly selected channel name, a set amount of views, and how long ago. Alright, so that'll take care of a lot of what we have here, and we'll actually be able to use this code again in another section. But for now, let's go ahead and start with our main screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a script for our main scene. I'm just going to call it main. And inside of our main, we just bring these, close these off. Okay, so inside of our main here, what do we have going? Right, we want to make sure our home button is pressed. Our home button dot pressed equals true. Because of course when you first load up, it's the home button we want to go to. That's what we want to see as soon as we start. So here on the home screen, we also have to add in a scene because we don't have our video scroller, right? And that's the main thing that we're missing on our home screen. So let's see, where's our scroller of our, we'll call this videos. We'll load that in. Video scroller, here's our scene. Bring it up there. This process because we don't need it. Let's see. Video. Whoops. Or let's see. Home videos. Let's go with that. So we'll go with home videos, and for this, we're going to need to create an instance of our videos variable up there. So say var. So we'll say vid inst, just to keep it short. Videos dot instance, and we can do self dot add child vid inst, and let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have that. Alright, so we can't see it. So let's take a look over on remote, right up here. If you click that, you can see your scene live as it comes in. And we can see, oh, what happened? Nothing happened. We didn't actually call this function. So let's go ahead, home videos, and let's rerun that. Awesome. Now we have it. So we have all of our videos here, and you can see they all have their own random names here. And of course, the views and time is all hard-coded in there. So you would do that same thing for the title. You would do the same thing to set the texture for said user's profile icon. And of course, if you had thumbnail caches here set up for each video, you would also change the texture there. Alright, so what happens when we click on something like Explore? Now, when we go to Explore, it's going to be the same thing. And if you were to be going off of the newer version of YouTube now where we have shorts, it would be a similar thing, only instead of having a video scroll like we have now, where we got the thumbnails, everything to scroll through, it would just be like video players, and the video would be the size of the screen, right? So let's go ahead and change it. Let's see. So let's go ahead and connect something like our explore button. I'm going to connect the pressed signal. And now we got it here. So when we press the explore button, what do we want? Well, we want the button dot pressed to be true. And then we need to clear all of our buttons as well. So we can actually do that before any of these. So take this, set this to false. We have our home button here. Set that to false. What other buttons do we have down here? We have the subscription button. Set that to false. And we have our library. All right. So now we can call our clear buttons and then set our explore button to true. Take a look. Whoops. There we go. Boom. Explore is true. And we need to do the same thing for the home button. So we'll set that up. Home button is pressed. We call our clear buttons. And then we set home button to be pressed. And of course, we're going to do the same thing for our subscription and library buttons. We're going to call clear buttons. And then we want our subscription button. True. And our library button here be true. Alright, now all of our buttons should work there. Fantastic. They're all working as they should. We can only have one selected at a time. Alright, now if we take a look, the way we're doing this, our newest scene is always the last child here. So from our control here, we can get the last child in the list. We can remove it. We can remove it and add in our new scenes in order to get to our subscription, our library, and all that. Alright, so when our home button is pressed, so let's start there. Clear buttons, home button is pressed. And then we want to bring in home videos because we want to respawn that. But of course, before that, we need to actually... Oh no, we're actually doing that right there. We're creating our instance of our video scroller. And that's all we're bringing up. We didn't call it home screen or anything. Which we... Should we have? No, because we're using it in other places. Alright, so we can just do that. So that makes it easy. But we also have to clear out our old set. So we can do self.get children. Or is get child count going to provide us with the right? In terms of number of child nodes. Yes, that could work. I mean, we could also just do get children and get size. Alright. So here's the thing, get child is going to want an index, right? Yes. Cool. So for the index, we can do self.get child count -1. And Q for it, which is going to delete it out of our scene. So now if we run this and we take a look over here, we should now see we shouldn't get any more scroll containers. Fantastic. There we go. We're only ever getting one, and we know it's working and refreshing because we can see these names here changing on the screen to random ones as we're going. Alright, so we know our home button is working. Awesome. We have a nice little template going up as you will. Clear the buttons, set our button as true, remove the last child, and then our function to bring in our new scene. So in that case, we know that we're going to do this on every one of these scenes. And now we just need to bring in our new functions. So this is going to be, well, I mean, explore is going to be essentially the same thing. But in case, we had something different going on, we can just do that. Obviously, you would have a different set of videos for your shorts, or if you were going with the Explorer, you'd have a completely different set. But we can go ahead and take a look at that, and we know it's working because the names change. Boom, boom. We know these are changing. We know this is changing when we click it, so we can easily go back and forth between them. And if we look at it inside of the remote, we are successfully removing the last item before spawning in our new scene. Awesome. Let's take a look at subscriptions. So subscriptions. Oh, we don't want those. That's two there. Sub scene. Var sub inst. And that'll be our variable. And then of course self dot add child, our sub inst var subscene equals load. And what is our subscribers? Let's see, our subscene here. Well, subscene dot instance. It's a little confusing because we have the variable and our function named the same thing, which that shouldn't be. Subscription scene. Here we go. We'll do that. Did I add that in there? I did not. Let's add that in real quick. I know you can't see it behind the video. We'll go like that. And we're just going to call our subscene here. And here we go. We know these are working. They're still working. Great. When we go to subscriptions, boom, we have our completely new scene. We can see all of our channels up top here. That would be changing. And again, just like with our videos, like we're doing down here, we'll just access everything inside of here within this little section up here. We'll just access these. and get the information down here, or the channel name, and then set that to a random name, just like we're doing here with our normal videos. Alright, so you see the subscription is working. Let's get our library scene going. So we'll create another variable here. Var library scene equals load library scene. Bring it in. Create our new function. Lib scene var and inst equals library scene dot instance and self dot add child libinst, and that's going to be down here in our library button, our lib scene function, and we run that, and we go to our library, and there we go. We have our playlists down here, and all of our what would be our recently watched videos up here, which of course you would keep track of through your video or into your data, your database, whatever you want to go with. And then you'd be able to access, of course, just by clicking, and I haven't set those up just because it's a simple thing like we've been doing. Click it, and you have this list of items or whatever. That's a lot of things that are common with the YouTube app. It's a lot of it is just a list or scrolling container, if you will, either vertical or horizontal, and that covers pretty much everything going on with the YouTube app. And just to get this set up, we're going to do on here, our main scene here, we need to create another function for play video. And what this is going to do, we're going to clear our buttons. We're going to remove the last scene. And then we actually need to get our video scene, our video player. Because what good is it if we can't click on a video? So we can show you how to do that. So we get our video player. We do that. Right. Var vid inst equals video player dot instance self dot add child vidinst. And I'm not using vidinst anywhere else. I am up here, but it doesn't matter because it's contained in there. Alright. Cool. We can't even test that yet because we actually have to come into our video. And our video would have a script. Right? And what would this script have? Well, it would contain the name of itself, and it would obviously direct, based on its own information, its name and ID, direct to the correct video in your database or wherever. In our case, it would be over here. But since we're not doing that, all we're going to do is we're going to get our button here. It's just a texture button, but it has no texture. So with it laying on top, we can just click on it, and it makes it look like a clickable thumbnail. We're going to get the pressed, connect it, and when it's pressed, all we're going to do is we can use get parent, because we know that every scene that we spawn in is going to be a child of our control. So get parent, and then inside of this script, we're going to call the play video. And that should take us into our video scene. Now, obviously, with this, you'd probably pass in some arguments or whatever again, in order to actually obtain the correct info, the right video, and all of that. But for our case, we're not going to need that. So if I click on one, why does this not work? Oh, right. Because we actually need to go higher up. Because these are inside of things like a scroller. So 1 is right there, 2. So we actually need to go up a few times. So actually, I'll create one called parent. And that'll be our get parent dot get parent. And the third time. Now normally you should not do it. If you got to go up more than 1, it's usually better just to send a signal up. Just to avoid breaking things in any potential way, but in this case, we're not going to cause anything to break. Oh, did we go too many parents up? Alrighty, there we go. For some reason, that seems to have been causing a somehow seem to have caused a small issue there. I don't know when I did that. So parent dot and what was it? Play video, I believe it was. Yes, play video. So if we try it now, there we go. And we just have to, we now have to set this for our overlay in that. Over here, we have our likes, dislike, channel name, comments, and we have our videos here to go through. It seems to be a little low on this scene. Yeah, we need to adjust the Y on that is why. That simple painter here. Bring this up, and that's it. So that'll solve that. Then we can get our script here for our video player. And you'll see I actually already had one start here, but the reason why I don't have a forward and back and that on here is because for whatever reason, the current time we can't actually get the position or the length of a video. We can have audio, but not a video clip. So I just wanted to leave that there just to let you know. We're going to do that, and then, yes, we're going to pause the video, and that'll almost act like a thumbnail from the video. When that pauses, we should also have the overlay off. Overlay. Visible is false. And there we go. So now we're going to have something like that. And now we need, when we click on our video, so when we click up here, no, not those. We want, where is it? Right here, trigger overlay. That gets pressed. Test that with a print, just to make sure. Here we don't have anything weird going on here. Okay. So when that works, we then want our overlay visible not equal overlay visible. So in theory, this should set it, if it's true, set it to false. If it's false, set it to true. So hopefully that'll work properly. And it is not. Cool. So if it's visible, set it to false. Else set it to true. So that is a problem. It does block it. So darken. Tell that to ignore. Should fix that. There it goes. And now we just need our play button to actually go. So our play button. We don't want to click that. We're going to connect the press signal again. And all we're going to do is play it. We're going to say if it's paused, play it, else pause it. Alright. And that should work with our default that we have here. Play. Pause. Alright, now we want this overlay to disappear by default, so we hit play. We just want to sit here, give it a second, and let it time out. So what we can do, so we can add timer. Oh, it's the overlay timer. We'll set it to 3 seconds. And on timeout, connected to our script, we'll set the overlay visible to false. The overlay timer dot start. And we can do that if we're pausing it as well. Right? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Boom. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Alright, so it looks like our app is completely working. Boom, we have our home screen here. Explore our subscriptions. Alright, so there's the code that we have it. It's fairly simple for us to go ahead and get that set up. And again, instead of using all these get parents, you really should just send a signal up to trigger these to go. It'll be much cleaner, more professional looking, and you'll be prone to a lot less errors. Alright. So that'll do it for the code portion of our little app here, of recreating the YouTube app.